We saw some procedures, and they're meant to be followed. However, the essence is not the procedures, the essence is the devotion. So supposing somebody is not good at or inclined to many different mantras and many different procedures and mudras and this and that. The essence is the devotion with which something is offered. And it's nice, and the whole community, many persons in our community are here to make the occasion sanctified and auspicious, along with the kirtan and the mantras and the tantras and the everything. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and shortly the arti and everything else. It's going right in my face. Especially householders. Now, why especially householders? The explanation that Prabhupada has given is especially for those who have a bodily conception of life, like who doesn't have a bodily conception of life? But especially householders, because it reinforces the bodily conception of life, although it's meant like a thorn removing a thorn. It's meant the whole principle of swadharma, whether it's ashram or varna, has a purpose. And that purpose is engaging oneself with those activities that are natural for one who has a body and psychophysical nature that goes along with every different body. There's means for engaging that psychophysical nature or prescribed duty in such a way that that need or tendency is addressed, is connected to a process that will regulate it and elevate it towards detachment. So a while ago somebody sent me a passage from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a section where Lord Chaitanya is discussing with Sanatana Goswami about the gradual elevation of the soul, and the commentator, or the author rather, is Krishnadas Kaviraj, and he writes that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu particularly appreciated in his followers the principle of renunciation. So it's not, the principle of renunciation is not everyone should, pack up their suitcase and go take sannyas. That's not the meaning. I mean, that may be the stage of life for some. But the principle of renunciation is detachment from the mood of being enjoyers of objects. Supposing there's a tendency to be an enjoyer of objects. Not supposing, there is such a tendency. How to regulate that and elevate that and bring it, this is the Yukta Vairagya principle, or Anasaktasya Vishayan. And that's Anasaktasya means without attachment to Vishaya, in the mood of enjoyment of objects, to interact with objects without a mood of being the enjoyer of those objects. So something that helps householders who may have such a mood, stronger than somebody else that's a renunciate by ashram, to elevate that enjoying spirit to a higher place. So the higher place is something, the meditation of one who has a deity is to be meditating on what nice things I can offer to my deity. Something valuable comes. or one can go try to acquire something valuable and offer to one's deity something valuable. Even if it's just a meditation. There's a nice description of a devotee who would do his deity worship, and then he would engage in meditation on situating his deity on a diamond throne, and garlands made of the most fragrant and opulent flowers, and silver and gold crowns. And so if one doesn't have that wealth, then wishing to worship the deity with whatever nice thing there is. And festivals come, and how I can make a nice food preparation, or a nice dress, or a nice ornament, or something, and engaging opulence in the service of the deity. It's purifying. When there's attachment, not just following procedures, but when there's attachment to the pleasure of the deity, and the deity then becomes the center of one's life, or the center of one's home, Prabhupada's explanation is, then you make your home Vaikuntha. And there's a big difference between homes that are not Vaikuntha and homes that are Vaikuntha. And the difference is the deity in the home is at the center. But it's not that if householders don't have a deity or don't yet have a deity, then they're kind of like in the outer perimeters or periphery of bhakti. There's preparation, and for example, Srimad Bhagavatam. A little story I'm going to end. In the early days of the Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada established temples, and he was cautious, yet at the same time enthusiastic, that temples, when ready, should have some deity. And there was encouragement to come to the temple, see the deity, join the kirtan, take Krishna Prasadam, hear the discussion on whatever the topic was, etc. After some time, his emphasis on book distribution began to grow and magnify. So many of us, I was one, that spent, in the first 5-6 years of my life, I spent more time in a Sankirtan band than in a temple. So a natural question was sent to Prabhupada, not by me, but should we have deities? Because he had given emphasis to deity worship. And Prabhupada said, my books are your deity. So he took it literally, and his books were our deity. It was a little odd, because when we ran out of books, they'd send us an air shipment. And we'd fill up the van right up to the ceiling and then sleep on top of the deity. Boxes of books. I was like, wow, we better figure something else out. But that's what we did, because when it was cold, we'd ride in the van and sleep in the van. And take our morning bath bucket showers outside the van. And in some remote place. So deity worship has its place. It's very important. It's one of the important limbs, and it's a natural evolution of the hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna process, the earlier stages. Deity worship is resting upon, it doesn't stop when deity worship begins. It's just when you complete your deity worship, it's nice, if your circumstance permits, you sit before the deity and have a kirtan, because everything is for the pleasure of the deity. The worship of the deity is not just a ritual or check the box. It's the pleasure of the deity, and the pleasure of the deity includes nice kirtan, which we're going to do shortly as soon as I stop speaking. The deity will return, and we'll have arati for the deities. Are there deities ready?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yep. Must be heavy. I guess we have a few minutes until the deity is, the altars.
We can keep them.
Well, let me see if there's somebody who wants to discuss something. How about that? Comments or questions? And if not, no problem. We'll go on to Kirtan. Okay.
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्यतादिशतारिणे नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरानिताय जय निताय गौरांगो 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 गौर हरि गौर हरि गौर हरि जय गौर हरि निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो चंद्र गौर हरि जय सची माता प्राण धन गौर हरि जय गौरा हरि जय गौरा हरि गौरा हरि जय गौरा हरि गौरा हरि जय गौरा हरि जय गौरा हरि जय गौरा हरि जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे ओ हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे ओ निता गौरांगो निता गौरांगो निता गौरांगो निता गौरांगो गौरा हरि Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ram Hare Rama, Rama Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Nitai Sachinandan, Nitai Sachinandan, Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Sachinandan,